This is a recording for the first tenet of my work, all the work I offer, and this most foundational principle. This tenet is that presence is your natural state. Simple. Maybe not always easy to remember, but it's a very simple tenet, and it is a very simple principle. So if you've ever held a baby, I suspect you understand this tenet. When you look into their eyes and you see how whole they are, how really perfect they are, and how much they're just there, aware, noticing, that is pure presence. They are not strategizing. They are not worried. They are not contorting to make life a certain way yet. They are just there. That is how you came into this world. That is how we all came into this world. So it is deep in our systems and our nervous systems and our soul and our DNA. We know this. Presence is not something you have to learn. It is simply something we get to remember. Now, I know as we grow and we go through life's experiences, we will be conditioned. The mind gets conditioned to survive and react to our experiences. And that's part of the journey. All that conditioning tends to create a fog or an illusion that makes us forget who we are and what we are at our core, which is pure presence, pure awareness. That's the journey, is to forget and then to remember. And it is joyful to remember pure presence, to remember what it feels like in our bodies to be fully here, fully aware. That feels good. It really has been, not everything, but it has really been one of the most joyful experiences and journeys of my adult life to come back to this remembering, to come back to this full sense of presence. It's not necessarily easy, and it does take a lot of courage, and we'll talk about that later. But this idea of, wow, at my core is presence and awareness. And I don't have to learn that. But instead, I get to remember. And I often ask my clients to remember when they have felt this way. Because everybody knows this. Everyone's had these moments. And sometimes when they'll answer with, oh yeah, that was on this amazing vacation, or I was playing with my kids, or whatever. And it's also these really small, spontaneous moments of, I was on a walk and I just had this overwhelming sense of being fully present, noticing. Or I was walking through Costco. That has happened to me. So it can happen in these big moments of vacations and wonderful adventures. And it can happen in the most simplest, sweetest times where we remember presence. So my invitation to you is to take this tenet of presence is your natural state, and just sort of put it in the back of your mind. Just let it simmer there for a little bit. You don't have to work it, but we're just going to consciously put it in our minds and let it be there, and then reflect, experiment, notice how often you remember presence. And how simple it can be. So it may be that you were spending time with your kids or your loved ones, and you just have an overwhelming sense of joy and love and fullness and awareness. It also may be when you're washing your hands and you feel the water. It also may be you hearing the leaves crunch under your feet when you're walking. It could be in the shower. So the way to play with this tenet is to just notice how many times you can remember that you are full presence, full awareness in your body, looking through your eyes. How often can you notice? How often can you remember? And then also notice the feeling of when you remember. What it feels like in your body, what it feels like in your heart and your mind. Because it's your natural state, you'll want to keep coming back to it. It feels good. It feels joyful. It feels full. You feel alive. It's not about being happy all the time. It's not about it being pleasant all the time. It's about awareness and how much pure awareness is coming through you and how often you can notice that. So enjoy this process. There is no perfection in this, but this idea of playing with presence as your natural state, I invite you to do that and then let me know. Let me know if you have questions and let me know how it feels. And then there'll be more tenets coming. Thanks.